Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today is going to be my next sit down Sunday video. I know I promised you guys these videos every Sunday, but I'm really bad at keeping to a YouTube schedule if you haven't noticed. Welcome back. So today's sit down Sunday video is going to be about PGS testing and whether or not I chose to do PGS testing. So PGS testing is when, I'm just gonna jump right into the video. I have my cup of coffee right here. So PGS testing is for when you're doing a round of IVF. Obviously these videos right now are all themed around my IVF experience. I do these kind of videos because I'm not really good at showing you guys like my emotions and what things are going in the moment of our IVF journey, but I figured like filming bits and pieces might help spread some awareness and might give other people advice from like my journey. I don't know. I feel like I get a lot of advice following other people's journeys, and I'm just obsessed with looking up other people's journeys. So I don't know. I just figured I would put my opinion out there. Just a disclaimer, I am not medically educated about any of this stuff. I'm no medical professional. I'm just a normal person on our 4th round of IVF, sharing my experience with you. Never go off of anything that I say. Don't take it seriously. Always talk to your doctor, do your own research. This is just my opinion. So today we're going to talk about PGS testing. PGS testing is when you test your embryos for like their chromosomes and just to see if there's like a chromosome missing, chromosomal, am I saying that right? Chromosomal abnormalities. I don't know if I'm saying that right. I believe that's right. I don't have any research in front of me. I'm just going off of like what kind of research I've seen and done and all of that stuff. I know that you have to be doing a frozen embryo transfer, an FET, in order to do PGS testing. Because they have to freeze the embryo, take a biopsy of the embryo, send it out, and then they test it, and then they let you know if that embryo is normal or abnormal. Also, with doing PGS testing, you find out the gender of your embryo before transfer. So, with all of that being said, and probably not all of the information because I don't know all of it, we are not doing PGS testing. Not yet, at least. So my first reason for that is we've always done fresh transfers. We've never had to freeze anything. We never had more than one to freeze. So I figured it was kind of like a waste of money to freeze one embryo, to have one embryo tested. Because as you guys know, we're on number 4. The first one resulted in nothing. Second one resulted in 1 transfer. The third one resulted in 1 for transfer. And now we're up to 4. And we have 4 frozen embryos. What a coincidence. I just put that together now. We actually have 4 frozen embryos right now. We did our round of stims. We did our egg retrieval. This was our best cycle ever. We had 10 eggs, 6 fertilized, 4 made it to freeze. All of them were like on different schedules. It was a crazy couple of days waiting to hear about updates about our embryos because on day 0, they call it day 0, 3 of the eggs were mature. And then on day 1, 4 matured overnight, and so they fertilized those with ICSI. And just like with our 3rd round of IVF, there was a few slow growing ones and they didn't make it to freeze until day 6. So it was just like 5 or 6 days of constantly waiting for updates, and it drove me nuts. But I'm happy to report, long story short, we have 4 frozen embryos this time. But we are still not doing PGS testing. So before starting with our second doctor, I did at least, some kind of genetic testing. They tested me and I didn't come back as a carrier of anything. And because I'm not a carrier of anything, they didn't test Rob, because if I don't have a carrier of anything and he even is, my dominant gene outweighs the recessive gene, I guess. I don't know how it all works. But my doctor is not recommending us do PGS testing yet because technically I've only had 1 miscarriage. And I kind of just feel like I'm not a very religious person. I believe in God. I believe in prayer. I'm not like a crazy religious person. Like, I don't identify with any one religion, but I do believe that it's kind of playing God in a way. I know that like all of this science is kind of playing God in a way, but I feel that whatever's meant to be with all of this will be. I know it's kind of contradicting myself because, you know, like if I was meant to have a baby, I would have had a baby, but I just feel like with our frozen embryos, if we're meant to, like with our last one, none of this might make sense because I'm just trying to get out my thoughts. It didn't work out. That one wasn't meant to be. Do you know what I mean? Like, there was an issue with that one and it just wasn't meant to be. I also just feel like there's so many discarded embryos from doing PGS testing. And I've done a little bit of research, and a lot of the times, and not a lot of the times, don't quote me on any of this, but some of the time you might get back an abnormal embryo, but it might be something very small that it could, like, I know that sometimes these things fix themselves as like they're growing. So it's like you could be throwing away a perfectly healthy baby in the end. Correct me if I'm wrong, but it's just, I just don't feel like it's something that I'm comfortable doing yet. I asked my doctor her thoughts on it, and she said because I'm young, because we've only had one miscarriage so far, she's not recommending us do PGS testing anyway. So I feel very confident in our decision. I know that a lot of people do PGS testing. And since we have 4 embryos that are frozen, and let's say we transfer one more, I still don't know what we're doing, and let's say it ends in miscarriage, I might change my mind. I might say, let's test those last 3 embryos, because going through a miscarriage is no joke. It is one of the hardest it might have been the hardest experience of my life. But it's just, if we've had multiple miscarriages at one point, I will do the PGS testing. It's quite expensive depending on your clinic. I think currently at my clinic it would cost around $4,000. My last clinic, I think it was around the same price, maybe like $3,800, $3,500. So it's just, you have to kind of outweigh the pros and cons of things and talk with your doctor about it, talk to your partner about it. Rob and I both just don't feel comfortable doing it yet, but as our journey continues, we might change our minds. I don't know. But I just thought I'd share with you guys my thoughts on PGS testing and whether or not we were going to do it, because we are at a point in our journey that it's the first time this question has ever come up, because it was the first time that we've ever had more than one embryo. I've had a lot. This entire time I always said no, I'm not doing it, even before all of this. Not just because of the money, just because I feel like, I don't know, I kind of just feel like it's up to God at this point. I know that it might be contradicting itself, but it's just how I feel, guys. So I'm really excited that we have our 4 embryos. They are really, we have 2 excellent graded ones and then 2 good graded ones. The doctor didn't tell me like their actual grades yet, but when I got my emails, 2 were beautifully excellent embryos and 2 were good embryos. So I'm assuming that's a good thing. I don't know, but we'll see how transfer goes. I am doing my first frozen embryo transfer. I did decide to do a medicated cycle. The doctor called me the other day and was like, well, it's up to you. Do you want to do a natural or medicated? And I was going cycle all day, Googling, researching which one's better. And I kind of found that they both have equal amounts of success rates, but I went with a medicated cycle because they said with a natural cycle, it's a lot of up in the air. You have to go in a lot more, you have to get checked a lot more, and it's just like a waiting game to see like when your body is ready for transfer. And a medicated cycle is more calculated, more scheduled, and you will have your exact transfer date. So I was like, at this point, I've gone through so much worrying, so much stress. We don't have to worry anymore about our embryos. We know we have 4, and why have another thing to worry about? We'll know exactly when our transfer date is. There's no more questions. We'll just have everything kind of in a row. So I picked a medicated cycle. I am just right now waiting for my period to get here, and then we'll figure out what to do next. I already got my meds. I'm just waiting around for that to come. Always waiting around in this IVF game, guys. Literally, that's all it is. It's just like waiting and worrying and stressing and waiting and worrying and stressing. It's just how it goes. thank you guys so much for watching this video. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. I am going to, I don't know if I'm going to continue with this IVF theme. Let me know if you guys have any requests for my sit down Sunday videos. It could be about anything you want to talk about. I have a lot of thoughts recently about like the whole blog and vlog world. What was I talking about with my friend last night? Like how these people make everything appear so perfect all the time, and even when they're like, this is real life, things still look perfect. You guys know I'm like a real person. Maybe that'll be my next one, like real versus what you want to appear as real. I don't know. I feel like one day all of these bloggers that make everything look perfect are just gonna fall apart. I don't know. If you want to hear more thoughts on that, let me know. Obviously I've had too much coffee and I can't stop talking. I will see you guys in my next video. Bye.